A leader who lacks emotional intelligence can misinterpret frustration as defiance, leading to unnecessary conflict. That's something that is possible in a work environment. Any additional information you want to add to that? Any situation that somebody told you about that you want to use to flesh that point up a little bit?
Yeah, I look. I've worked in law enforcement for 28 years, exactly 28 years. I don't know where the time went, but the last government agency that I worked at, federal government agency that I worked at, I was there for 15 years. And I remember 5 years on a job. I will never forget. I was in court. I had to testify. There were probably, 150 people in the courtroom, judges, prosecutors, defense counsel, people in the pew, in other words, the audience. And I was there with another colleague because she also had to testify. When we
Yep.
left the courtroom, that hearing lasted about 3 hours. When we left the courtroom, she kept asking, how is it that you were able to speak in front of the judge and everybody else in that courtroom the way you were able to speak? I didn't think anything of it because if you know who I am, you know that I'm very down to earth. I'm humble. I just look at communication as this medium by which we share information or we gather information. That's it. So I never really considered myself a phenomenal or great speaker. I just never did. I just felt like you were supposed to speak, you're supposed to communicate, and this is how you're supposed to communicate. And that was it. Even though I don't feel like even today that I'm the best speaker, I just worked very hard at it throughout my entire life. That's number one. Number two, I had a job to do. I had a
Mhm.
job to do. Talk about credibility.
Yeah.
When you have you have a position of public trust, you're looking at someone's life. Literally, their life is on the line. And what's going to determine whether or not they spend the rest of their life in jail or be free, knowing that this person should be in prison for the rest of their lives if you knew what they have done and what I was also investigate. So the passion came out, the conviction came out, the fact that I knew the case front to back, I knew everything involved that case, and I was going to share it, and I
Yeah.
wanted to seek justice for the minor victims that I had to provide a service for in the community. That I did not take for granted.
Hmm.
I was very serious about it. So I didn't think about being nervous. I didn't think about the people in the room. The only thing I was concentrating on was seeking and making sure that I got justice and making sure that I did my due diligence. And that's what I told my colleague. And she was hung up on, wow, I just get nervous. I was nervous to understand. I can't talk. I wish I could. I was like, you can
Hmm.
do it. Just focus again on your message, focus on the content, and don't be so hung up on you have to be perfect. People are going to look at you. People are going to judge you. Yes, people are going to look at you. People are going to judge you, but you don't know what they're saying. You're not a mind reader. You're not in their mind. You have absolutely no idea what they're saying. All right. So
Good.
that's how I look at it.
Hmm.
The
Thank.
fear is induced by our own thinking.
Yep.
When you talk about public speaking, in order for me to be a good or even great communicator, I first have to start with my mindset because I can have this book, I can have all the training, go to Toastmasters and this and that. I can do whatever it is that I need to do to become a better speaker. But you have to, number one, apply it. But before you apply what you've learned, you have to get yourself in the right mindset because I know people who have taken and spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaching and how to become a better speaker through workshops, etc. They have the foundation, they have frameworks, they have formula, but they're still stuck. Why are they stuck? Because of the mindset. And until you work on your mindset, you will continue to be stuck, even if you spend $1 billion on trying to become a better speaker.
Hmm. Wow.